Namaskara. Welcome. Namaskara because it's Karnataka elections and I'll have to ask you, vote madidera, which means have you voted? So here we are, and let me tell you something, this cup has filter coffee. So it's Karnataka in the studio today, but I'll promise you, no semantics. I promise I will not dance in the studio. Whatever the results, it's because I have two left feet. It's not a comment on anyone else. All we are going to give you is pure facts and that great festival that elections are in Indian democracy. They are completely incomplete without visuals. So let's start. Let's set the context with these wonderful visuals of what Karnataka did today on the day of voting.
See, I think issues are individual, sir. It's personal. See, people look at it personally. Now, every individual has the right to say that my issue is my issue and I want the government to address it. That is, if it is falling into the domain of government. I guess every issue becomes important, and I guess you keep your issues in mind and vote accordingly to think that, that person who you're voting will actually relate and, connect with you on that.
Sudeep sir,
you're a big influencer.
You're a role model to so many people.
Yes,
you have come with your family to vote a certain example. What is the message you want to convey to the people? Because
sir, nothing, sir. I think passing on the messages is what everybody has been doing. I think a person who wants to understand responsibility doesn't need a message from anybody, sir. I think just because we are celebrities, you think that we passing on the message is what is going to help India. No, sir. I think I have not come here as a celebrity. I've come here as an Indian. I've come here as a father. I've come here as a friend, a husband, a son, a citizen. I think it is my responsibility, and I think everybody should understand. I think that's when the state and the country will fall in its place. No, I'm never disappointed with anything, because I think as a country, you should understand there are all kind of personalities and all kind of characters you will actually confront. Facing them and moving ahead is what government's job is to do, and the leaders will face. And I think we as Indians, we have seen much. I'm a celebrity. I come from cinema. All right, so even for the smallest of the things, there will be discomforts around us. I think facing it and moving ahead, what you're talking and all is just on the eyewash, on the minutest of the problems you're talking about, ma'am. I think there are, very titanic problems over here, which I think we should be thinking about.
Sir, but your colleague Ramya says that you are capable enough to become a politician. You're talented enough. You have that knowledge. She has spoken to you in past about this.
She is a dear friend of mine, and she has seen me for more than a decade and a half now. She knows my capabilities. She does discuss with me, and I respect her words and I respect her opinions. And we do discuss a lot when we meet, because she's much into politics much earlier than me. She knows in and out of it, at least between both of us. Sir, I do take her word seriously, and if I feel a responsibility that I need to come in, let us think that particular day and how I want to come in, and then I want to come in. So that's important.
Thank you.
So there you had it, Kicha Sudeep, superstar, speaking about why people should vote and what is the message that he wants to really give to people. But let me tell you something, every leader will come and say all the politically correct things. But you, me and those leaders in Karnataka, they all depend on the power above, that is the gods. Anyone it could be, particularly Narendra Modi, who is in Natwada today. There you see the visuals in a bit, you will see, and also of other leaders in Karnataka. Let me introduce you two guests right now, because I'm going to keep the other two a suspense, and you shall join us. Please join us more and more so that we can have a discussion. You and I can talk. It's not about just us talking amongst us. Mr. N.B. Nair, who's a senior journalist, is with me in the studio, and Mr. M. Rajendran, who's also a senior journalist. Very warm welcome to both of you. I think any election, before the show started, we were speaking about the voter turnout, and I don't think it's very encouraging right now. Maybe they'll make it up. Mr. Nair, if you see, the last time voter turnout was very impressive. They said one of the highest ever in Karnataka, except for Bengaluru, which was very disappointing. But just now, if you look at it, what is it? I mean, is it around 34%?
It is 37.25%, up to 1 o'clock. The Election Commission has not updated it.
Right.
And if you go by the voting turnout in many places, the Bengaluru is the lowest perhaps, especially Bengaluru urban areas. The voter turnout is lower.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody there. They said basically the upper class, they don't come out of.
That's right. It's an urban phenomenon. It happens in Mumbai also, sir. I mean, we see that they are very lazy. That day they will go out, watch
Delhi
a movie.
Delhi also. They would go for a holiday on that
holiday
day.
or watch a movie.
Yes. And now another interesting factor is the coastal Karnataka, the three districts of Dakshina Kannada, Uttara Kannada and Udupi.
The BJP bastion.
Yeah, they have recorded perhaps the highest percentage of votes.
That's very interesting.
Udupi is 47.79%, Uttara Kannada is 42.43%, and Dakshina Kannada is 44.17%. Mind it,
all these are BJP bastions, right?
Out of 19 seats, BJP has 16 seats in the present assembly.
Yeah.
1 seat Mangalore is with the Congress.
Yes.
And this time the BJP has denied tickets to six sitting.
We'll come to that later, but first the voter turnout, which you have really set out very, very well.
Yes.
Mr. Rajendran, you think it will go up because you can't really predict, right? You can't.
So since morning we have been trying to assess this situation. Personalities, Prime Minister, Chief Ministers, everybody has been inviting people. There is an interesting 19.1 lakh youth, first time voters,
Right.
which everybody is trying to tap. It's quite disappointing that we don't see whatever we see the visuals, we haven't seen the youths in the queues.
Right.
So it is only the senior citizens or probably middle-aged.
Very senior citizens. What was very endearing, I mean, I will request my producers to play that. Mrs. Devagowda and Mr. Devagowda.
Correct.
You saw that?
Correct.
I saw that in the newsroom. Everyone smiled. It is so beautiful. The two of them, particularly Mrs. Devagowda, with flowers in her hair, walking very closely with, her husband. Very, very aged, but the enthusiasm, of course, yeah. So you were saying, Mr. Rajendran, that the youth seem to be missing.
I'm quite, optimistic by see, traditionally what we have seen in the previous elections, say between 2 to 5 p.m. or 2 to 5:30 p.m.
Right.
We see a sudden spurt, particularly in the urban areas. Rural, you will see a continuity of people flowing in into the booth. But the sudden spurt, I hope happens, if we have to cross that 71% voting which happened last year.
72.1%
voting which happened
Yes.
last year. So, because that will be critical in terms of deciding, which party would finally emerge winner.
A voter turnout is a kind of one of the first indicators where the election is going. Mr. Rajendran, you said that the youth were missing. A very newly married couple apparently came to vote. These are classic election shots. Would you agree? An old grandmother,
somebody coming on a wheelchair.
Wheelchair being carried. There they are, the groom and the bride. Look, can you imagine? They must have just got married. In all the paraphernalia, they walk. Look at that. The mala is also in place, That is the kind of enthusiasm that you have, that let's first vote.
This is the dedication the Indian democracy requires.
Absolutely. 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 Look at that. Very, very endearing. So there you are. I mean, youth, I presume, of course, you usually get married when you are young, but you can also get married when you are old. But this seems like a very, very young couple in Karnataka coming in to ink their vote, to see who is going to. But what is the reason, Mr. Nair, you think that, coastal Karnataka, like you said, has voted in such large numbers? So which means they want to change.
I would not hazard a guess about coastal
Right.
Karnataka because that has always been a BJP's
bastion.
bastion. And some emotional issues have taken place in coastal Karnataka, like Udupi. If you remember the hijab and halal, controversy row originated in Udupi district. And then Sri Ram Sena, a leader, Pramod Mutalek. In fact, he was a co-traveler with BJP. Now he is disillusioned with BJP and he is he is contesting as an independent against a sitting minister.
I'm sorry to interject, but we were just speaking about, both of us, I mean, you were speaking about the voter turnout. Mr. Rajendran and Mr. Nair, it is so unfortunate that people whose names are there in the voter list, they are happily, some of them are sitting at home and watching a film or doing whatever they do. And how disappointing it is when your name is missing from the voter list.
Correct.
My colleague Ajullah has filed this report about voter names not being on the list, missing in action, MIA as it were. Take a look.
So far, the voting percentage of Karnataka has been 20%. People have come out in large numbers to vote, but after 11 we've seen there's a dip because of the weather is getting hotter in Bengaluru. But we have a few voters who've come here to vote. Before I speak to the rest of them, let's speak to sir. आप वोट करने आए हैं तो क्या सोच के वोट करें? बटन दबाने से पहले आपके लिए इश्यूज क्या थे?
भाई कुछ सोचे नहीं यही कि हमारे मुल्क को आज़ादी मिले। हम इसलिए आए हैं कि ये इस मुल्क का आज़ाद।
कुछ लोग आए नहीं हैं अभी भी वोट करने, तो
वो आएंगे ज़रूर से
आएंगे। Chalo, we have him. You've voted. Is this the first time that you voted?
No, I've been voting for quite a few years.
What were the issues that you kept in your mind before you pressed that button when you were voting?
I think it's very important to vote for the right person. It's your civic right to come and vote for the right person because you have certain expectations out of the government, and that's the only reason why we encourage everybody to come and vote.
आप वोट किए?
नहीं, मेरा वोटर लिस्ट पे नाम ही नहीं है। नया आईडी कार्ड भी है मेरे पास, लेकिन वोटर लिस्ट में मेरा नाम डिलीट हो चुका है।
तो जब आप उनसे बात की क्या बोले?
नहीं, वो सब जगह सेंटर्स में भेज रहे मेरे को, जाके वहाँ पे चेक करो, वहाँ पे चेक करो, वहाँ पे चेक करो, बस उतना ही। एंड रिजल्ट कुछ भी नहीं है।
आपने वोट किया सर?
Yes, I have done my vote. He is my brother. He has not got the vote rights. Same house. My own brother has got no rights to vote.
Okay, so
His name is not there in the list.
Okay, so when you press the button, what are the issues that you were keeping in mind?
No issues. We want good governance. We want everybody to be happy. No communalism. No communalism.
Okay.
We are all brothers.
Okay, and those who haven't come to vote, a lot of youngsters.
No, everybody should come. They should do their vote. It's our right. Tomorrow we should not repent that we did not get the right. Some other person has come. We wanted this person. Then there is no thinking again.
So well, this is Richmond Town constituency where we are, and you clearly heard how the people have voiced out their opinion. Then they were clear that they are voting for good governance, voting for a party that will not involve communalism in the city. And out of that also you've heard a few of them who haven't been able to vote. So these are a few issues that people have been facing this time around. This is Vajiola with Rahul for News9.
You see, the beginning of any electoral process is very important. I mean, a lot of people wait for the result day, but what is the means to that end? That's very important. Like Mr. Nair and Mr. Rajendran said, unless the voter turnout is impressive, you know, it kind of is worrisome. My colleague Kabir Naqvi has a full report on what the turnout has been this time during elections in Karnataka.
Well, thank you so much, Sudha. It is a riveting conversation to listen to you speak to those panelists as well. And, Mohammad Vajiullah's report as well just filed a short while ago. I've got some latest figures because, you know, as the day progresses, we're going to keep updating the viewers on our particular stream about the kind of voter turnout that is already there. Meanwhile, let's quickly take a look at what happened in the previous elections in 2018 and 2013 over there, Sudha. High numbers, not low by any means at all. In 2018, 72.57% and 71.45% in 2013. So if these statistics are anything to go by, we should be expecting somewhere above or near the 70% mark at this point in time. Mohammad Vajiullah, he spoke about how, you know, it's getting quite hot. It's also raining some places in Bengaluru. So people might not step out immediately, but that number will continue to grow. He spoke about the 20% voter turnout. Let's just quickly give the viewers the latest update. As of 1 p.m., which is when the Election Commission has put out this data, 37.25% voting has been done. Voter turnout has been 37.25 on an average. Some crucial places where the voter turnout has been really good is 29.41% at BBMP Central, BBMP North 29.90 and BBMP South 30.68. All the people in the urban locality, which is essentially Greater Bengaluru, and quite a lot of seats in those particular areas as well. Richmond Road, you've got the entire Forum area, the central Bengaluru, where you've got your techies, you've got your students. They don't necessarily come out and vote. This is what the senior citizens are also claiming. They're saying the youngsters aren't really getting out and voting. Will this continue to be the trend? Will this change? Well, we'll have to wait till the voting actually closes down. But 72.57 in 2018, 71.45 in 2013. Are we going to hit the 70% mark this time around? Well, we'll have to wait and find out. But if these numbers are anything to go by, we sure are bound to get there. Sudha, back to you to the studio.
Kabir, thank you so much. And I wish that, we do touch those numbers. I'll come back to you once again. But let me remind all the viewers, follow all the latest and fastest updates on Karnataka on news9live.com. And now let me also end the suspense and introduce the other two guests who are joining us on the conversation. Ramesh Sethuraman, political commentator, is joining us, and Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, senior journalist and political analyst, also with us on the show. I'm going to now touch something which is very, very crucial, I guess. I mean, the guest could always say it's not, and that's the beauty of this show, is that we are going to agree to disagree on a lot of things and not say yes to everything. Defectors. This time around, the way some stalwarts have defected, particularly from the BJP to other parties, how will it impact? Did it impact during the last election? Maybe it happens every election. Let's take you through this, but first the guests, Mr. Nair, the defectors, whether it is Saudi or Shettar particularly, the kind of heartburn that it has caused. Do you think it is going to have an impact, these elections?
I personally feel that this will have some impact, because Shettar is from a family which has got a history of, they have been with the Janasangh onwards. His uncle was the first MLA from Karnataka, BJP MLA from Karnataka, or Janasangh MLA, and he was one of the founding members of the Janasangh. His father was the first municipal chairman in Dharwad, and he had a history, in family history. He has always been, for several decades, he has been with the party, and he has also not crossed the age limit that BJP
Yeah, and
fixes.
he was ex-chief minister. It can't get bigger than that. No, Mr. Rajendran, so like you're saying, it will impact. And what about Saudi, you think, Mr. Nair?
Saudi also, both these leaders, I personally feel there is an internal clash within the BJP. That is the Brahmins and the Lingayats. This is what has cost them the tickets.
So you mean by the upper caste, are you BL Santosh?
BL Santosh, basically. Okay. Perhaps, what has been, I don't know, I guess that, perhaps he wanted that to edge out all the senior leaders and bring in youngsters and also.
There is another way of looking at it, Mr. Rajendran. Some people say what BL Santosh wanted to do was not depend on the Lingayats forever. He said, let's create a new kitty. Would you agree with that, or you think, no, there is a bigger game plan here?
So I have a slightly different view from Mr. Nair, in the sense he is looking at the political and the social angle. I am looking at the economic angle. What has happened is the defection has happened because the candidate has worked in the constituency, created development, and if you look at the latest economic survey which has been tabled in the Karnataka Assembly, it gives you the GSDP of every assembly seat. What has been the development? So wherever the candidate has found, I'm not denying that there is a caste factor and other things, but this factor is going to play a critical role. If I have invested in development in my constituency, then I should be getting the seat.
But are they? Is he?
They are not. So that's why you have defectors. That's why you have defectors. So this is an angle which I see would, I was telling in the morning, the voter, the favorite food, Bismillah Bath, is what they are getting. They are not getting a Mysore Pak in all the places.
Right.
So it's a mix of all, So
you're saying there should be a Bismillah Bath and also a Mysore Pak and also a coffee?
No, it is Bismillah Bath now.
Okay.
Otherwise, you had clear candidates, clear agenda, and it was easy to pick and choose. Now, it is going to be very interesting in the sense.
Let me also go to the other guest. Dr. Chambi Puranik is also with us. Professor Chambi Puranik, welcome to the show. Professor Chambi Puranik, do you think that the defectors, as it were, they are going to create a change? I'm not saying havoc, I'm saying change. Mr. M.B. Nair says it will impact. Mr. Rajendran looks at it from a different point of view, and he says that whoever has developed his or her constituency, but have they got a vote? Maybe not. So there is a lot of heartburn. How do you look at it, Professor?
Well, there's a mixed kind of response from the people, whom I have talked. Yesterday I called people from Hubli Dharwad area and also Gulbarga. They say that denying ticket to both Mr. Shettar and Saudi, I think would have been avoided. After all, whatever may be the strategy for bringing a new blood and also kind of encouraging new candidates, etc. It's okay. You should do it, but you should do it with a little transparency, because there is a smoke. The smoke can also lead to fire. Also, you never know. When there is smoke, you must find out whether it is going to be useful or not, So I think, BJP in its kind of road roller kind of high command approach and the kind of caucus or cliques that are working there, perhaps they might have tried. I agree with one of the journalists, senior journalists who mentioned there is some scope for suspicion, but let us not worry about it. But the people, the voters in general, feel, I think this particular person, leader who has done so much to our, Bombay Karnataka or Kittur Karnataka, he has been insulted. It's a insult, you can take anything. Defeat you can accept, some losses you can bear with. But when it comes to the insult, etc., kind of sensitive things, politics itself is part of emotion. There is no scientific way politics is being conducted. So I think, these are all some of the lessons that BJP should learn. Because earlier, as I mentioned, the 3 deputy chief ministers experiment failed miserably because it did not bring any good response from the people of Karnataka or even in the performance of the government.
Right,
so
Professor.
when your experiments fail, you have to correct it.
Right.
But corrective approach is not, I don't think BJP High Command or somebody who is connected with High Command knows the ground reality. I think there is some kind of communication gap.
I mean, there were yeah, Professor, but there were so many experts and interlocutors who have come and gone, Arun Singh and Dharmendra Pradhan. I mean, you had them like parachute almost every week, and I find this very interesting what you say, that none of them know the ground reality. Meanwhile, we have some update on the voter turnout. Mr. Rajendra, how much is it now?
52.03%.
52. So it is like Kabir said, we hope that it comes closer. So since the time we opened the show, and since now maybe we can, talk about this, add a slug or something, that it's now 52%, so that all the viewers know what it is. Right now it's increasing. Ladies and gents, people in Karnataka, Vod Madhira, I kept asking you, I think you are doing due diligence. Meanwhile, when we're talking about defectors, very, very important comment came from Home Minister Amit Shah about particularly Shettar and Sawadee. Listen in.
ये दोनों अपने अपने चुनाव क्षेत्रों में बड़े बहुमत से हारने जा रहे हैं। मैं दोनों जगह जाकर आया हूँ। देखिए रंगनाथ जी, ये आप जो कह रहे हैं कि वो पार्टी छोड़कर चले गए, अगर भारतीय जनता पार्टी उनको टिकट देती तो जाते क्या? निश्चित रूप से नहीं जाते। मगर पार्टी ने स्टैंड लिया है, आपको मंत्री नहीं बनना है मुंबई जी के अंदर, तो एमएलए बनकर क्या करोगे? किसी नए कार्यकर्ता को मौका दो भाई। अब इतना भी आप नहीं छोड़ सकते हो, और पार्टी को कहोगे कि आप टिकट नहीं दोगे तो मैं कांग्रेस में चला जाऊंगा सारे सिद्धांत छोड़कर, तो जनता पूछेगी ना कि 30 साल तक जिस कांग्रेस को गाली दी है, सिर्फ एक टिकट के लिए आपने छोड़ दिया। आपका क्या सिद्धांत है? पार्टी पहले है, देश पहले है, या कैपिटल आई पहले है? ये जनता उनको पूछ रही है आज भी। और जहां तक सऊदी का सवाल है, वो चुनाव हार चुके थे, हमने उनको एमएलसी बनाया, डेप्यूटी सीएम बनाया, दोबारा एमएलसी बनाया, और 28 तक वो एमएलसी थे ही। एमएलए बनते हैं तो भी 28 तक रहना है, तो भाई क्यों दूसरे कार्यकर्ता को टिकट नहीं देना? और अगर आपको चुनाव ही लड़ना था तो एमएलसी क्यों बने? उसमें दूसरे कार्यकर्ता को मौका देना चाहिए था। अगर हम स्टैंड न लेते तो क्या होता है? दोनों लोग आज भाजपा में होते। मगर पार्टी ऐसे नहीं चलती है। हमने एक फर्म स्टैंड लिया है, और मुझे पूरा भरोसा है दोनों लोग अपने अपने क्षेत्र में बड़े बहुमत से आ रहे हैं।
Let me go to Dr. Baswaraj Itnal. Dr. Baswaraj Itnal, Professor Puranik was just saying that maybe, those people, those interlocutors, or, the dispensation in Delhi, they really do not understand the ground reality. We just heard Home Minister Amit Shah say, हमने सवदी को एमएलसी बनाया, और अगर उनको चुनाव, अगर क्यों एमएलसी बने, अगर चुनाव लड़ना ही था, we are talking about defectors. We are talking about people who left a party that they served for decades and decades. According to senior journalists here, that is Mr. Nair and Mr. Rajendran, for different reasons, they feel it's going to impact the elections in a major fashion. What is your take on the day that people are voting? Dr. Itnal.
I have been maintaining this, that this will have an impact, a very critical impact, so to say, not just a small kind of a sway or something. It is very critical because, whatever Mr. Amit Shah was saying in the interview is his version or his way of dealing with the party. But Shettar is no less a leader. Shettar is, probably much more senior than Amit Shah himself. He, like one of the panelists was mentioning, his father, Shilpa Shettar, he is from Jensen days. Amit Shah was probably in school then. So it is like that. So he comes from that family. And I agree with Professor Puranik saying that if Shettar were to defeat, you would have accepted. If you were to given a BJP ticket, if you were to defeat, you would have accepted a defeat. But how could he accept this insult? Number one. Number two, whatever the interlocutors, whoever interlocutors came from Delhi, they were trying to defend this decision. They were not trying to understand Shettar's version or Saudi's version. Shettar's version was this, that you did not give me, if you wanted me out, you should have given me a graceful exit. I would have taken it. Because he had given half a century of his life for the party, and he is very instrumental in building the party. And if you want him out, you should give him a graceful exit. That party did not give him, number one. Number two, Saudi's version is, he is extreme, on a daily basis, he is embarrassed by Ramesh Jarkiwali, who is a defector from Congress, who had been accused of sex scams and other things, and who is a motor mouth. And Ramesh Jarkiwali's constituency and Saudi's constituency are neighboring taluks. Athni and Gokak are next to each other. And in last 20-25 years, the Jarkiwali family had been trying to control the entire district of Belgaum. And also the state politics to a considerable amount.
Yeah, very influential is what people tell me. And you remember he accused, DKS also of having blackmailed him, some part. Motor mouth, but there is no doubt, Dr. Itnal, that he is influential because, all logic fails when it comes to elections. I mean, we all go by past histories, past, benchmarks. But then there could be a paradigm shift, and who knows, this election could throw that up. I'll come back to you, Dr. Itnal. Let me get in Ramesh Sethuraman also. Mr. Ramesh Sethuraman, please welcome to the show. I just want to ask you this defectors factor. Do you think, this is going to really be one of the reasons when we all sit here to do a post-analysis or post-eval of these elections, that the defectors really took it away?
It will do, but in parts, but not the entire state itself. Okay. So that's the way I see it. But it do makes some dent, a negative dent, especially for BJP. So obviously you have shown Amit Shah's interview where he was asking about ideology and everything. But the complaint from the party itself is that if you are so worried about ideology and if you are worried about the Karyakartas, in many cases, why you are giving seat to those who switched side in the very recent years, right? So who made a decision more from an opportunistic perspective rather than from ideological perspective. So instead of giving them the seat, why not give the seat to the Karyakartas who have been with you for 15 years, 20 years and 30 years? So that kind of question comes into the picture. And next thing is, this kind of shifting, sides, we have been seeing it quite a bit, and it is not just limited to Karnataka is what I believe. And as guys were saying, of course we are going to see, but Karnataka gets the importance because this is seen as a trailer for 2024.
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. It's going to create that. It's very important. But then we discussed about the D factor, that is the defectors. Let's come to the present. Today is the day of voting in Karnataka, and my colleague Vajiullah is right now live from Bengaluru. Let's go across to him and talk to him. Vajiullah, I just want to know, the first thing that we did when we opened this chart is the voter turnout. My peers here, Mr. Rajendran and Mr. M.B. Nair, and also my colleague Kabir Naqvi, he said it's very low compared to last time. It's around 52% right now, Vajiullah, am I right?
Well, yes, the voter turnout has been very less compared to last time also. And if you remember, Bangalore has notoriously been a city where people usually don't come out and vote. There are various reasons for it. Yesterday we were worried that people won't turn out to vote because it was raining yesterday. Today is very hot over here in Bangalore, so there could be a lot of reasons. And also keeping in mind that the population of Bangalore is usually a migrant population. Most of them are from outside, so that also could be one of the reasons. But let me first go and speak to those people who've actually made it a point to come here and vote. To start off, sir, ಇನ್ನೂ ಜನರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. There are a lot of people ಇನ್ನೂ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅವರು. ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಅವ್ರು ಬರಬಾರ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲ ಏನು?
ಸರ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಿಸಿಲು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಇನ್ನೂ 2.5 hour ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೂತಲ್ಲೇ 55% 550 ವೋಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, 1200, ಅಂದರೆ 45% ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇನ್ನು 15 to 20% ವೋಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಹೋಪ್.
Okay, you've also voted today, you've come with your family. What is the issue people should keep in mind when they vote, sir?
No, we want change for development. We want development. That's the main thing. And the prices are very high. That should be reduced. That's our.
Okay. We have some female voters also. Where आप भी आज वोट करने आए थे, तो आप क्या सोच के आए थे वोट करने?
ये कि हमारा बेंगलुरु को तरक्की हो, अच्छा ही करे, जो भी आए वो अच्छा काम करे बेंगलुरु के लिए.
अच्छा, you're a young voter. What do you have to say? What is the issue you clicked on?
So basically what I want is development, nothing more than that, because you see a lot of problems people are facing on a daily basis. So on that basis, if you see, it's time for change, it's time for a government to come where you can hope for a better future. So for that I want for
a lot of youngsters haven't come out and voted. Voting percentage is less. How do you see this trend? Don't you think youngsters should come out?
Yeah, that awareness should have been created long before the elections had started. Youngsters should have been made aware of the importance of elections and the importance of government, because it's the government that's going to shape the state and the city. So that awareness should have been created in the youngsters' mind beforehand. That's what I feel.
So these people who have come here, they've all come up with. Hello.
Go ahead.
So these are the people who are here at the Chickpet constituency who've come here to vote, and as you can see, at least these people have made it. But then, as this person told us, that 55% of the people have come only here to vote. So we still have 45% left, at least from this constituency, is what we get to know. If we do a overall of the entire city, well, yes, I've been roaming around the city. I don't see the buzz that I used to see in the city a long time ago, when we used to see at least 60%, 70% of the 65% of the people turning up at least to vote. Last year it was 55. This year so far it has been 47 from the last time that I've seen. It now remains to be seen how much of the people will come out, keeping in mind that it's getting hotter and hotter in Bengaluru at least. The other parts of the states are even more hotter. So all that weighs in as a factor when people have to come out and vote.
Right, Vajullah, but the thing is that, you know, there is always hope that from now till 6 o'clock, maybe they will make up, you know. Do you think, you say that there is no buzz. We all know how notorious Bengaluru traffic is. So do you see the roads empty because, you know, everyone must be staying home, or do you see traffic, which means people are still, you know, racing towards the polling booths, as it were?
No, this is the most interesting thing. Today from 7 o'clock we've been outside, and I haven't been stuck in traffic even once. There's not even, I won't even say for 100 meters we were stuck in traffic anywhere. The roads were empty. People, there was nobody on the street. We could only see the concentration at polling booths.
Yeah, right. So, you know,
and right now also the polling booth where I am, if I could show you.
Go ahead, go ahead.
See, this is the polling booth, and you can see it is clearly empty, because it gives you an idea that people are not coming out to vote because it's hot. And that is one of the reasons I can give you as of now, because I don't find any other reason other than not coming out and casting and franchising your vote. So this could be one of the reasons that I feel is a major factor in bringing the people of Bengaluru out.
So great, you know, Vajullah, a lot of Bengalurians are going to now say, we remember 2023, 10th of May, that was one day when Bengaluru roads were empty. Vajullah, thank you so much. We're going to come back to you for more on that. Thank you indeed. Let's set the context yet again. So we spoke about voter turnout, we spoke about the defectors, and now I'll go to Kabir Naqvi, my colleague, to set the context as to how did the parties fare in 2018. What did it look like in 2018? Kabir Naqvi with all the details on the other side.
Well, absolutely, Sudha. You know, again, not very pleasing to see Wajiullah standing there at the poll booth. Not a lot of people around him, but at the same time, again, interesting to see that there's lack of traffic. I'm going to be traveling to Karnataka for the counting day. I'm already happy that I'm going to have to encounter less of traffic. But let's quickly circle back to 2018, the last assembly elections in the state, just to give the viewers, if there is a comparative blueprint, a set blueprint, how do you draw that comparison? This time's party's performance to 2018 party's performance. Let's quickly take a look at that as well. All right, so in 2018, BJP bagged 104 seats. The Congress party managed to bag 80 seats. Next up, we've got the JDS, the third largest party, with 37 seats, and the remainder of the seats, backed up by the others. So that's how the map essentially looks like, pretty much saffron, as it were. But this is 2018 results. Let's not forget, it's a hung assembly. We've been talking about how there have been fractured mandates in the last 4 decades, for the better part of more than 35 plus years. What happened in 2018 is quite interesting, because the Bharatiya Janata Party was called on to form the government, but within a span of a couple of hours, the Congress and the JDS tied hands. They got a majority of 116 seats. They formed the government, and then in 2019, just a year later, Operation Lotus ensued. Just to refresh the memories of all the viewers out there, the defections began to take place, and that's how the Congress JDS government was toppled. So that's what happened in 2018. Let's also take a look at the vote share of what happened in 2018, because when the BJP has 104 seats, let's quickly take a look at that. 36.2% votes for the BJP with 104 seats, but Congress, that had 80 seats in 2018, had 39% of the vote share. So discrepancy over there as well. Whilst we're at it, let's also quickly take a look at JDS. 18.3% for the JDS, and the others, rounding up with the bare minimum 6.5%. So that's what the voting trend has been like. Just like the voter turnout, we can't say the same for the vote share, because each year, each successive assembly elections, there's a different vote share that is thrown up by this particular state. Is it going to be a fractured or a hung assembly this time around? Well, it's anybody's guess right now, Sudha. We'll have to wait and find out.
So, Mr. Nair, I just want to, a lot of experts have been saying that 2018 could get repeated, but, in another fashion. I don't want to say it, because this is what the experts are saying. This is what, opinion poll is saying. When you look at 2018, are there some takeaways that you would want to share with us? I mean, in the sense 104, 80 and 37.
See, the vote share does not indicate the number of seats that a party gets.
Yeah.
If you see that, as we have seen here, the Congress had the highest vote share, but its seat number was, lower. At least in 60 constituencies, the difference of vote, the winning and his next candidate, was only less than 5%. This also indicates that there are the elections throw up so many surprises, and I won't be surprised if this time, either of the party, the Congress or BJP, gets an absolute majority, because the people are.
Which will be breaking a kind of some kind of a record.
Because the people across the states are disillusioned, basically. Corruption, the issue has been brought out by Congress and other opposition parties, that has gone across the state.
Right.
And what people say, that the development has only concentrated only one place, Bengaluru, or maybe the maximum Mysuru or Dharwad region. The other places, there is no roads, electricity is lacking, water supply is there.
Right.
And these are the issues people are worried
about. So
that
is one aspect of it, Mr. Nair, which should be actually a very important electoral issue. But Mr. Rajendran, I think during the last leg, when you saw, I think Mr. Bajrang Bali, he became the overriding factor. I mean, corruption, 40% Sarkara, and all that, PCM, Paytm, like you said, where is the development? The road, there are no roads, traffic is Bengaluru, by the way. Whole of last year was suffering because of the rains. Even the techies were talking about it. But tell me something, don't you think all that gets eclipsed?
So taking off from what Mr. Nair said, there will be a clear mandate,
You think?
I'm putting my head on this, and we agree that either it will be BJP or it will be Congress. Why? Congress has played its card with corruption, price rise, and etc., etc. BJP has played to its strengths, including your Bajrang, the last point you mentioned about Bajrang. Now, it will decide whether the population or the people of Karnataka want to go the BJP way of development or the Congress way of development. So it has to be clear, because they have realized in the past, in the last 5 years, that being here and there is not going to help the state.
You both are making a very, very important observation, and as very senior journalists who have watched and analyzed several elections, I think this for those who are watching us, I think this is what they both are saying. And we know for the past 4 decades, Karnataka has thrown up fractured mandates all through. Professor Puranik, you think this is they both are saying that, Professor Puranik. What is your opinion on this?
In an ideal context, I would have agreed with both senior journalists. But having been resident and observer for last 52 years now, I feel that the edge that Congress had, it has also, I think, been affected by the kind of vigorous campaign or the aggressive way in which BJP and the Prime Minister and Amit Shah and many others have come and gone. But my consistent and for the last 2 weeks, I have been telling that everybody is ignoring the JDS factor. This is something which perhaps the local people only understand, because from outside they think that JDS will be washed away and all that. It has not been there. See, there are 37 seats. Some of them have resigned, about 6 people. Even if 32 seats are there, and if JDS again musters little more support, and Janardhan Reddy's party is there, the new Kalyana Pragati Paksha and all that. So these are things, and plus Aam Aadmi has contested in about nearly 170 or 150 constituencies. So there the votes are going to be divided. This is the problem. When you are talking of first past the post, you must keep in mind the various factors that
absolutely. But a lot of experts also said that we cannot take away the importance of the JDS, but it could be reduced like the BSP in Uttar Pradesh. It's an important party. There's no doubt about it. But where is it? Look at the last time also. We are only going by the past record, Professor Puranik. But again, as always, you make such an interesting point. Dr. Itnal, look at this. This is the most riveting conversation to say majority aayega. Professor Puranik says, no, I have been a resident for 50 odd years. I know exactly. What is your take on whether Karnataka will vote for a majority this time for one party? Doctor. I think there is some technical problem with Dr. Itnal, and guess what? I've also run out of time, but look at that visual of a newly married couple coming to vote. That's how electioneering should be. It should be like a wedding where everyone participates and has a great time. Let me thank Professor Puranik, Mr. Nair. Many thanks are due to you, Mr. Rajendran. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, and for all the latest and fastest updates on Karnataka, please follow news9live.com. And for all the latest on Karnataka, like I said, this is your destination. Namaskara.